at how Ohtani has struggled. I know he had a big hit last game, but I expected more from him in this postseason. He was struggling, obviously. Do you see any vulnerabilities from the Dodgers in this series in terms of their hitting? Because we expect the Dodgers to show up with their bats. I'm not sure that's something that we can definitively say against Toronto coming up in this World Series. I think this could end up going 7 games, dog.
If you're going to pull off a huge upset, if you're like the Blue Jays and they'd be a big underdog, I think you got to win the first game. Milwaukee had a chance to win the first game, 9th inning, bases loaded. Turang strikes out, put a little fear into the Dodgers in their bullpen. When the Giants beat the Indians and Mays made that great catch, 54, they were a huge underdog. They won game 1. They swept the Indians. When the Pirates beat the Yankees in 60, Mazeroski hit the huge home run, huge underdog. They won game 1 at Yankee Stadium. When Gibson hit the home run against the A's in 88, they were a huge underdog, the Dodgers. Gibson hit the home run against Oakland in the 9th inning of game 1 at Dodger Stadium. They beat him in 5 games. So I think in order for Toronto to have a chance here, they need to win this first game on Friday night. I think that will be very, very important. Listen, I think if the Dodgers have any vulnerabilities here, I still think it's their bullpen, Steve. I mean, they're going to pitch Snell and they're going to pitch Glasnow. They're going to pitch Yamamoto and probably Ohtani. Those 4 are excellent. You know, Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, they have enough hitting. I think their bullpen could get them in a little trouble. But keep an eye on game 1, Steve. I think that's the key game. If the Blue Jays win game 1, give the Dodgers something to think about. Like the Pacers did last year against OKC. Huge underdog. They won game 1. Right there, the whole series, they played a game 7. I think sort of what the Blue Jays will have to do here to have a chance to win.
My last comment would be this to you and Amina. The Dodgers in their rotation, I mean, since the wild card series, Dodgers starters, 140 ERA with 81 strikeouts and 64 in the 3rd innings. Their rotation, I mean, these brothers show up. Yeah. It's going to their bullpen, obviously. If you're Toronto, you got to make sure you're not swinging at early pitches. You got to make sure they'll link the at-bats to get the starters out there to get to their bullpen. It seems like that's going to be Toronto's best chance. And I think Toronto could pull that off to make this a 7-game series.
Yeah, the Blue Jays definitely
their pitching has been great, Steve. 100%. And Ohtani had that historic game on Friday night. Let's see how he handles his World Series.
That's right.
Good job.
Exactly.
See you tomorrow.
Everyone will be looking for it. Thanks so much.
Big time operation. That I don't like the bouncing around. It's build a culture, build a team. Everybody's opinion matters. We've got to go love.
We've got 2 teams left. These are the 2 left standing, Toronto and Los Angeles. I did not have any of this right, none of it.
You were on the Phillies. You've been riding the Phillies for 4 years.
Wake it up, America. 2 days away from game. Oh, I'm excited.
I remember you going up there to do a feature when Donaldson
on Josh Donaldson.
was
but
the
I
MVP.
haven't. I didn't go anywhere. So we'll have fun.
I've never
We're going to go to dinner tonight.
Well, I don't know.
I made us a reservation thinking we were staying at one hotel.
Oh, boy.
We snuck up on them. We're not.
Oh, boy.
It happens. Maybe next night.
Now we need to reroute
Maybe
it.
Thursday after the show, we can do that. We can do that. The tape is ready. Which way?
Well, I thought it was interesting. What? Davis.
I like letting people know.
It's the last day, isn't it?
I came up with the Atlanta Braves and was allowed to be a part of a lot of division titles. That run, I was in the midst of it, and you could feel it. You could almost feel it, like that we're not here for that. It was a shake, it was a champagne toast, it was a little champagne spritz. And then the only problem is we kept getting knocked out in the division series, so I was like, hey, we should start celebrating this a little bit more, because we're getting gypped in the end. We're not getting to truly celebrate. I always get a kick out of watching teams that haven't been there in a while go bonkers. And then on the flip side, watch the Dodgers. They celebrated. You were in there. It was subdued.
Very business-like.
It was
very business.
More work to do.
Yeah, and you could kind of understand that.
Sure.
So I was just saying, there's a lot happening in that Toronto scene in the clubhouse.
Oh, yeah. They've got like a nightclub.
There's like a nightclub. We thought Petco Park was the one rocking a nightclub, but apparently Rogers Center decided to put one in there.
Oh, look at this shot.
So I'm going to take you through it, okay? Because this is what I think happened. Look at Jihadi breaking it down with Tommy Edman. John Heyman had a $15 poncho that he got ripped off on. But I believe the way they celebrate is Ohtani says, hey, boys, let's get on my private bird.
Oh, yeah.
Let's sip champagne at 35,000 feet. Him and John Schneider got to enjoy a little cocktail there and get after it.
That was a scene.
That was
a disco ball.
So
a smoke machine.
You remember the beginning of the year
when you used to have dances and the smoke machine. Remember, like the 6th grade dance. Remember that?
6th grade.
Yeah.
Had smoke machine.
And it smelled. Yeah.
Did you go to school with Beyonce?
Maybe.
Good Lord.
Do you remember the beginning of the year when I told you I went up to Toronto and their home clubhouse was almost too nice?
Yeah. Yes.
You were disgusted.
I was actually a little offended. It was like
a spa.
A spa.
You don't want to leave.
There was bedrooms that looked like they were decorated in Pottery Barn. They're called nap rooms, and then when you shut the door, these like red laser beams, there's red light therapy in the room. I'm like,
well, you were
does
concerned.
Ernie Clement deserve this yet? I mean, you got to work for this.
You were just concerned it would make them not want to be their teammates, or not want to be their teammates, not hanging out together. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
There have been some stories about how this team really, after last year, really made a concerted effort to try to connect with one another as teammates, as people, maybe on occasion friends. And Vlad has talked about that. This group is very tight-knit. We are a family.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why they're here.
I love that point. Those two super duper stars, George Springer and Vlad, they're good humans. They're good men.
Yeah.
So it all goes through them. This World Series team will look different than the Toronto Championship team. Why? Bo Bichette.
In ERA. But that is not the rotation we're going to see in this World Series. They're drastically different. So runs per game, Dodgers are second, Blue Jays are fourth. It's kind of like payroll, right? Number 1, number 5, number 2, number 4. Weighted runs created plus is hitting, second and fourth. Base running, they're both kind of middle of the pack, 18th and 25th. They have the guys that can run. A lot of guys can't. Starting pitcher ERA, Dodgers actually 5th. The Blue Jays, surprisingly enough, 20th. Bullpen ERA, not good for the Dodgers. Defensive runs saved. Again, Mookie Betts has outrageous defensive metrics. We'll talk about him if we believe those metrics. They're third, they're fourth. The main thing that stands out for me, Steve, is Yamamoto pitched 173 innings, all right? Glasnow, Snell, and Ohtani, 90, 61, and 47. So I use the phrase tanned and rested. They are rested, and this is their season right now.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And honestly, it was the plan. I mean, they knew they were signing guys who were injury prone. They had guys that they were going to protect. They had pitchers like Ohtani coming back from Tommy John and Yamamoto who they wanted to have on a 6-man rotation. So because they're bringing the pitchers in from Japan who tend to pitch in once a week, they build a rotation of depth and protect them. And the whole plan for the Dodgers, get to the playoffs and then make sure that when we get there, we've got our studs all healthy, ready to go. And, oh, by the way, rested when we need them to play their best. They're rested in a midseason form where you look at the Blue Jays, many of their guys are expecting we need the best performance when you're most fatigued at the end of the season. The Dodgers are in a different space.
The Blue Jays are like most teams, right? They're a little gassed, a little hurt, might have to go Gausman on 3 days rest, whereas the Dodgers are just sitting pretty in every way.
They are, but if you're the Jays, you can't fall into that, being spooked by what you've seen from them in that series against the Brewers. I haven't seen anybody strike out 0-0 in a count. Like, you have to go out with a different mindset to attack 0-0 and have these guys feeling like, these guys are ambushing us. They're doing some different things. You're a different offense when you look at the Brewers. I thought the Brewers were. I watched them the whole series against the Cubs and the DS, and I was like, man, this team, I don't know how you beat them because they're pesky. They're going to give you quality at bats. They're going to get to the bullpen. They're going to do all these things. Total opposite.
Yeah, they didn't.
Right? They never let them off the hook. But I think this is one thing, if you're the Jays, you don't have that hitters meeting thinking, hey, look at these guys. They're the best in the business since August 2nd and all this crap. No, you look at it and go, hey.
That is true. But yeah, they can't buy it.
Right. You can't buy into that. I mean, yes, it's true for us to talk about it. But if I'm the offense, I'm like, hey, man, these guys can be beat.
Cliff, I'm with you. I think, we have a real recency bias. We just saw the Dodgers wipe out the Brewers and you feel like, oh, no, now they're going to steamroll that. I think this is an even-up series. Blue Jays are for real. They're a heavyweight.
I mean, the best matchup here is the Dodgers starting pitching against the hitters for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays offense right now, they scored 71 runs in 11 games. They're averaging 6.5 runs per game. So what they were during the season is a snapshot of a big picture. But who they are right now, they're playing some of their best offensive baseball right now. That's the team that's facing the Dodgers, not the one who had 160, the stats, which were good, but this is the best that they've been performing. Their superstar players getting it done, and the length and depth and balance of this lineup is absolutely phenomenal right now. So the Dodgers are, listen, they're going to attack these hitters, but this lineup is as tough a matchup as you could find. They foul off pitches, they battle, they scratch, they claw, they grind out at bats, they don't strike out, they put it in play. They make productive outs.
Number one in contact.
Right, top contact team. And interestingly, they're 14th highest during the regular season at swinging at the first pitch, but in the postseason, they're swinging at the most first pitches. They're jumping at Blake Snell, 53% fastballs on the first pitch. And so look for the Blue Jays hitters to look for that fastball and jump on it.
I think they're fluid in their attack. I want to, just to widen out, as long as we're, this is the day off, we're getting ready. Again, game one is Friday. The Blue Jays have been good for a number of years. Mark Shapiro went over to be president of baseball operations for the Blue Jays, came over from the Guardians after long-term success there. And that's gone down from John Hart to Dan O'Dowd to Mark Shapiro, goes to the Blue Jays. And I'm saying, Cliff, I know their one bad year was last year. Now, that was disappointing. But before that, 89 wins, 92 wins, 91 wins. That's success. It's just barely missed the postseason, and they were losing in the playoffs, which, again, there's a bit of a crapshoot to that, but they've been good for a number of years.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was last year we were starting to close the window and say, wait, what's going on? What's happening?
Right.
And so you turn it around and you figure out some things. I think the most important thing, to your point, Steve, is you've given these guys, if you want to call them supporting cast players, experience. They've gotten a chance to play. They've gotten a chance to come together. You of course you want Bo Bichette. Of course you want. I'm drawing a blank on the right fielder that's hurt.
Springer.
Santander.
Oh, so he's gone.
You miss, right? He's gone. And forget about me. That's 40 and 100 that you had to replace. That was something that you expected to be in your lineup.
Right.
And you don't have it. So when you look at these guys getting a chance to play, it's
Clement Barger, they're real guys.
That was a good combo that they and that's John Snyder saying, I instill this confidence in you to go do it. And if you do it the way we need you to do it, we'll go far.
By the way, isn't it Dave Stewart, as I look back on the record, two-time ALCS MVP and World Series MVP. You talk about a real guy.
Talk
about a real guy. Dave Stewart's joined.